Welcome to the Bransford Webs Plant Company and this week's Looking Good List video. So filming this on Monday afternoon and after a bit of a dull start to the day. The sun's now come out and it's a lovely afternoon here at Bransford. Hopefully it's continuing on from the weekend and sales are starting to pick up a little bit in the garden centres. So this week we're down in one of our twin span tunnels in a section of the nursery that we call Bosbury. This tunnel at the moment is full of our hardy fuchsia collection. So this will probably go online in about a week's time. It's just not quite there yet. I mean, they're 3 litre plants that we'd just like to fill out a little bit more in the pot there and produce a little bit of bud, which some are starting to do, but I think we'll have a look at the sales team next Monday and probably put this on for sale the week after. But we do a really nice spec, chunky 3 litre hardy fuchsia here at Bransford Webs. So look out next week on the video and we should be putting that online for sales into garden centres the week after. So we put plenty on this week onto the videos, onto the new Seriously Looking Good list. So first of all are a couple of Veronicas. So this is a 2 litre spec and it is Veronica baby doll. It produces lovely strong pink spires and flowers, and as you can see there's just masses and masses and masses of bud in here. So in the next few days, or should I say a few weeks, it's going to start showing plenty of colour on the plant area and in people's gardens, and it's a real wow showstopper of a plant. Striking colour and a nice, easy to look after, hardy perennial plant in the garden. While we're talking about Veronicas, if you wanted something really compact in the Veronica sort of family, it's Veronica Ulster Dwarf Blue. So again, it's a 2 litre spec that we go at Bransford. It's much more compact, as you can see, probably about half the height of the baby doll. And they're actually grown side by side in the same tunnel pot of the same week. And again, it's producing masses and masses of these bud on the top of the crown of the plant. Again, nice hardy perennial, easy to look after, let it flower in the garden. Once it's finished flowering, hack it right back and it'll flush through some foliage. If we get a stunning autumn and early winter, you might get a second flowering, but it will flower and hold its flower for a long period of time. Well, most Veronicas will. So they are a really good garden border perennial plant. Another great border perennial, which we do just in small numbers here, part of our Impulse Herbaceous range, is this Geum. So this is Geum Werner Arend, and it really does stand out. It's one of those crops on the nursery that when you're driving around, you're walking around the nursery, you can see from miles away, because this bright, intense orange flower really does shine out, especially when the sun's shining, and it will do so in your garden. Again, a great border perennial, sort of front, middle of the border, easy to look after, and we'll come back year after year and keep producing plenty of these flowers for the next few months. Moving on to something a little bit more shrubby. In fact, I think it's the only shrub we've got this week in the Looking Good video. It's Capsular, and you can see why I'm featuring it. It's got this beautiful dark red foliage as the new leaves are coming out at this time of year. Really sort of leathery look to the leaf, and it is absolutely stunning. Again, it's a 2 litre plant, grows best in ericaceous soil, ericaceous compost, but you can grow it in a container, grow it in a border. Really is one sort of garden plant, evergreen garden plant that's well worth having in the garden. But that's Capsular, and we've got that available in a 2 litre pot at the moment. So back onto perennials, and a new promotion for us at Bransford this year is this new range of Achillea. So this is the Achillea Desert Eve series. It's a collection of 4 different colours of Achillea. Unlike most Achilleas that will flower about 2.5–3 foot high, this only flowers about 9–12 inches high. Produces mass of these lovely dome of flowers on there. Produce masses and masses of them for the next few months. There's plenty of bud coming through in the crown of the plant, and we'll hold that flower for a long period as well. Let's say the Desert Eve series is a new collection for Bransford. It holds its flower for a long time and it just stays nice and compact, so really front of the border plant rather than a mid to back of the border like most Achilleas are. So just stirs up the Achillea sort of planting in the garden. Last week I think we showed you Agapanthus Streamline. Well, this week we've got Agapanthus Blue Storm. So this is a 3 litre spec, unlike the Streamline, which is a 2 litre spec. And Blue Storm produces a much larger, taller, showier flower. So you can just see the plants we've got here now starting to flower. Plenty more bud coming up again in the base of the plant. But they are really a chunky plant. I don't know if Sarah can get them with the camera and just show you sort of the thickness of the plant there. These are real stonkers and they're going to really perform in the plant area and in customers' gardens over the next few months throughout early summer and into midsummer. Back to our Impulse Herbaceous range then, and we've got Paulamonium Heavenly Habit. I personally really like this Paulamonium. Its name Heavenly Habit does as it suggests. It keeps compact, keeps nice and short, doesn't stretch, which can be a problem with some Paulamoniums, but still has this lovely blue flower and masses of it, which it holds for a long time. I actually put one of these in a pot in my garden last summer, and it just held its flower for a long time, so it really is good border perennial, and say you can use it in a pot as well. That's Paulamonium Heavenly Habit. We've also put online this week Osteospermum Helen Diamond. So this one of our variegated osteospermums that we grow here at Bransford. It's got slight variegation on the leaf and produces these lovely showy white flowers that have a blue underside. So as they nod around in the wind in the garden, they really are a good showy plant, and especially when you get a sunny day like this, those flowers really shine out, so really brighten up people's patios and borders. It is best grown in a container. It's not probably the most hardy of osteospermums out there. It'll stand a slight frost, but it really is. Treat it as tender, bring it in for the winter, bring it into a greenhouse somewhere like that, or cold conservatory, chop it back and just let it tick over through the winter months, and then bring it back out as we get into the warmer nights. But that's Osteospermum Helen Diamond. Our 2 litre Guardian Delphiniums, which I think we showed you a few weeks ago now, are starting to produce some bud. So this is Guardian Lavender. We've also got blue and white in the range, which is nice again. The stocky Delphinium, and in a 2 litre pot starting to show some bud. They'll start selling off garden centre benches really quickly over the next few weeks. And finally, just back in my selection for this week. I don't think we've shown you these, but they've been online for a few weeks now. We've got our Viola collection, our scented Viola collection online. So I've got a couple of the varieties, 5 varieties in the collection, through to really dark ones like Molly Sanderson, which is a beautiful one, Rebecca and things like that that we've got in Ernie. But as you can see, they're all loaded in bud, loaded in colour, really impulsy at the moment, and they are the scented violas, so they've got a double whammy. So for garden centre customers out there, shove them near your entranceways and near doors where you're getting a lot of people to walk past, under covered areas. It'll hold the scent and really just should drag people onto the displays and hopefully sell through in good volume over the next few weeks. So next week we'll be back with another selection of plants that are looking good at Bransford Webs, and we'll see you then.